Oh yeah, what's up all my Jaguars out there? You know who I am. Ralph Jaguar is back with another epic one. And welcome to another epic episode of Ralph's Universe, the Reboot. Let's do it.
Alright, Jaguars and fans of hip-hop music and the hip-hop industry in general. In this episode of Ralph's Universe, the Reboot, I am going to be discussing and critiquing the VH1 hit reality TV show Love in Hip Hop Atlanta. That's right. I'm going to be talking about the hit series reality show that covered the A. Alright, please bear with me here, Jaguars and fans of hip-hop music. I am kind of going through a lot, kind of rusty for Ralph's Universe to Reboot, because you all know that it's been a while since Ralph's Universe the Reboot came out with an episode. But now we're back in full force and ready to go. And this time we are discussing Love in Hip Hop in Atlanta. And fans of this show, know what it's all about. This is a spin-off series from the original Love in Hip Hop. The hit reality show of VH1. And OMG, this second season of Love in Hip Hop Atlanta, it was so
mother effing epic.
OMG, can you say drama? Hot damn, there was a whole lot of drama this season around. Nah, in the first season there was a whole lot of drama, but this second season right here, there was even more drama. It's like a whole nother show. Because actually, I think they just picked up, where the first season, left off, and tried to continue a story, if you will, in the lives of these, people who are involved in the hip-hop industry. And that's what this documentary is all about, following the lives of the great women and the men of the hip-hop industry, because they're all trying to make music for all their fans out there and live their lives while the camera follows them. I mean, the name of the show is called Love in Hip Hop in the A, but if you watch the second season of the show, there wasn't really that much love going around with the way that these people were fighting. I mean, damn. In almost every single episode of the second season, there was at least one fight scene. Just so much drama. So much drama. I just couldn't believe it. So that is why in this episode of Ralph's Universe to Reboot, it is only appropriate that I do something special. Okay? since they like to fight so much, we're going to call this the top 13 fights of love in hip hop in the ATL. So that's right. Not the top 10, not the top 11 or 12. The top 13. Yes, I know what you all are thinking. 13 is a very unlucky number. Trust me, I know this all too well. But for this situation, there's just so many fight scenes in this second season of Love and Hip Hop in the A. I really felt like 13 is the appropriate number. Now trust me, I'm pretty sure that, there was a lot more fight scenes in this show. But I can only cover 13 of them, okay? So let me go ahead and delve right into it. I'm going to go through each of them. So let's do it. Alright, let's start with the number 13 fight. Right here, this season of Love and Hip Hop in the ATL introduced a new couple. Let me go ahead and talk about them for a little bit. We got, R. Kelly's DJ Drew. Actually, it's DJ Baby Drew. And TRACI Steele. She's also a DJ. And TRACI is the mother of DJ's. TRACI is the mother of Drew's son. That's right, so these two do have a son together. And throughout this whole season, just like all the other couples here, they also butted heads and argued a lot. Because what happened was, after their son was born, Drew apparently cheated on TRACI. So they had to separate. And they argued a lot because TRACI didn't like the fact that Drew was, moving on and dating other women. But the problem is, all those girls were around, her son. And TRACI had a problem with that. I mean, every time, TRACI caught Drew with another guy. Let me rephrase that. Every time TRACI caught Drew with another girl, TRACI just went at it. She went crazy. I mean, she went ballistic. And TRACI's saying that, they're not here talking business, so they shouldn't be around. Okay. And then when TRACI tried to date somebody, Drew didn't like it either. But then there's another twist to this, okay? They decided to open up a business together. I think it was supposed to be a sneaker store. Yeah, a sneaker store. Well, it's very unclear because, things didn't work out. I mean, because you all watched the show on VH1, you know what happened. Drew wanted to run a sneaker store, right? But he needed, TRACI's help with this. So TRACI also invested it by, putting in $25,000 to open up this store. And throughout the whole process, as you all know, they butted heads. They argued because Drew wanted to do this, TRACI wanted to do it that way, and they just butted heads. And as soon as TRACI gave Drew her half of the money to put up for this store, that is when things began to started to, go awry. Because Drew had a guy that was working for him. He handed that guy the money to go ahead and to get things rolling and open up the store. Well, apparently that guy was a con artist. And when Drew handed him the money, that dude just ran off. And when Drew told TRACI about that, oh boy, as expected, TRACI went crazy. Of course. I mean, if it happened to you, wouldn't you go wild? And TRACI kept saying stuff like, like Drew handed that guy $50,000 without a signed contract. Well, my take on it is this. Drew made the mistake by handing that guy, $50,000 without a signed contract. But I'm just wondering, if that guy was planning on running off with the money, would a piece of paper really stop him from doing that? I mean, don't get it twisted, people. I mean, Drew was wrong. I mean, yeah, he made the mistake of handing that guy the money. He should have did more background check. Drew should have did more checking. And that's what led to all this. And that was very, bad of Drew to do, I was going to say dumb, but, that would be too harsh. Yeah, that was a real bad move on Drew's part to hand that guy the money like that without being more careful. And I really felt like, this story right here, if you look, on the lower part of the screen, there's Drew and TRACI right there arguing about this. And I really feel like, it would be very insightful for, people to pay attention to this part of the show, because, it'll give people an idea of what to watch out for when they're opening up a business. So at that point, Drew just had to file a report for the police and hire a private investigator to, track down the guy and get the money back. And the chances of that happening is very, very low. Now, as far as the relationship thing is concerned between Drew and TRACI, TRACI, it seems to me that, yeah, I don't think she can take, Drew hanging out with other girls, and vice versa. I don't think Drew is going to be able to handle TRACI dating other guys. Because as you all saw on the show, there was one guy, that TRACI wanted to date. It didn't turn out too well because Drew was able to, dig up some dirt on him. The guy lied about his past. Oh boy. So that ended, badly. And now it seems that they both are single. I mean, now on the reunion show, I did see that one too. Even Stevie J, he yelled out that maybe these two should be together. And you know what? I don't know. They should, I'm not saying that, I'm not going to just put it out there and say that, Drew and TRACI should be together. But, maybe they can, at least keep it an open mind, or maybe try it. Because you all watch the show, I'm looking at the reaction of TRACI and Drew, and just judging by their actions, maybe they can give it another try. Who knows? Alright, Jaguars and fans of hip hop, love and hip hop Atlanta, let's talk about K.Michelle. You know, like Arian said on the show, you know, K.Michelle may be a little person, but she has a huge personality. And as we saw in season 1, we know about K.Michelle's story. She is a hip-hop singer, and you know, she is the victim of, you know, domestic abuse. You know, her boyfriend, you know, who I believe his name is Memphis, you know, did beat on her, you know. Yeah, so, you know, K.Michelle is a victim of domestic abuse. And in the second season of Love and Hip Hop in the ATL, you know, we have seen K.Michelle go at it with a lot of people. You know, basically almost everyone. You know, and as you can see right here, you know, I put this collage together. K.Michelle went at it with Rashida, you know, ended up throwing a candle at her. And then K.Michelle went at it with, well, got into an argument with Arian. But as you can see right there, you know, they shook hands. And then K.Michelle got into it with Kirk. And then K.Michelle went at it with NIKKO and Johnny. You know, and at that time, you know, NIKKO was the boyfriend of Mimi. And then because of that, K.Michelle, you know, got into an argument / fight with Mimi. And then you all know that K.Michelle got into it with Karlie Red. And it even got to the point to where Karlie Red, you know, made a diss track for K.Michelle. Wow. And I have to say that diss track that Karlie Red, you know, made, you know, about K.Michelle, it was rather interesting, I have to say. You know, I will tell you this, you know, I really like K.Michelle, you know, she's been through a lot in her career and also in her time on this planet. But like I mentioned before, you know, she is a victim of domestic abuse. And yeah, she is kind of lashing out at everybody, you know, just going at it, you know, with everybody. And then, and also on the show, you saw K.Michelle talking to a record label. And, you know, the lady there told her that, you know, all of these incidents, you know, are diminishing her brand. So that's when K.Michelle did decide to try to, you know, squash the beefs with all these people. And she did make an effort to do that, you know. And that was real good of her to do, in my opinion. And I just really feel like, you know, in my personal opinion, I just really feel like, you know, K.Michelle might have to, you know, talk to a professional, you know, like a psychiatrist, for the simple fact that, you know, she is a victim of abuse and, you know, she just needs to see somebody. I mean, this is a real talented artist here, and, you know, she is going to go straight to the top. And speaking of K.Michelle going places, this right here was K.Michelle's last season on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She's leaving this season so she can join the New York cast. Yeah, I do watch that show also, you know, the New York, you know, original version of Love and Hip Hop. I think K.Michelle is going to fit right in with that cast. Now, what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of Rashida and Kirk. No, not Captain Kirk, Love and Hip Hop Kirk's, Rashida's soon-to-be ex-husband, Kirk, These two have been married for about 17 years, I believe. And their marriage has been on the rocks, let me see, how can I, this marriage right here. I mean, they've also butted head a few times, but the only time these two, have butted heads, as you saw in the first season, was about business, because that Rashida is a hip-hop, rapper, and Kirk is Rashida's manager as well as her husband. And they have been butting heads about, how to do things, how to run the business, how much to spend on this and that. And as you saw on season 2, they have been having a lot of financial problems, problems with the budget and all that. And I guess things really got strained when Rashida, discovered that she was pregnant, and the baby was on the way. And that is when Kirk, really flipped out. He wanted to run the tight budget because, Rashida wanted to do this and that, but Kirk, he wanted to do something else. And Kirk even said that he wanted Rashida to get rid of the baby, which means have an abortion, which, by the way, I feel is really wrong. And, even Rashida's mom, got into the fray by trying to talk some sense into Kirk. Oh, screw that, Rashida's mom just basically, cussed Kirk out. Yeah, she cussed the guy out. And, and I think the pressure just finally got to, Kirk. And so that's when he decided to go on a trip with Benzino to their friend's house and meet a whole bunch of girls there in that cabin. And that is where Kirk had like a threesome or foursome with some girls. And they ended up having sex. And then you all watched the show, you saw what happened. TRACI still, she was the one that told Rashida about what happened, and then Kirk went ahead and confirmed it, as you can see here in the pics. And that's when Rashida just went off on Kirk, and rightfully so. And Kirk, he's doing all this talking about how he's having a whole bunch of financial problems and stuff. Well, my friend, this is not the way to handle your financial problems, Kirk wanted to Kirk just wanted to take that easy way out, and that is just BS, total BS. This is not the way to solve your financial problems, by cheating on your wife, and telling her to go ahead and get rid of the baby, taking that easy way out is just wrong. Give me a break now. And then he had to go ahead and have a threesome with those, girls. TRACI went ahead and called them, popcorn hoes and stuff. And, that whole time, Kirk was married. Yeah, that's right, Kirk is married, and there he is, having sex with other girls. That's right, so, yeah, he is married, and, and he decided to go ahead on and commit adultery and have sex with those two girls. Are you kidding me on this? So now Rashida, And that's when Rashida found out about it. And as you saw in the show, Rashida just went off on Kirk. She just went off on that man, you know, threw his stuff out of the house. I mean, you should have seen, you know, Kirk was really hauling ass out of there. Oh yeah, he really he was just hauling ass. And then Rashida grabbed all of Kirk's clothes, threw it out of the house and set it on fire. OMG. And Rashida's mom took her car and ran over Kurt's motorcycle. And after what Kurt did, yeah, he kind of deserved it. Oh, screw that, he did deserve it. And Kirk is sitting up there talking about how he has a whole bunch of financial problems. Oh boy. Well, after this divorce, he's going to have a lot more. And where is he going to get the money from? Those girls that he had sex with? They ain't got no money. Jeez. And checking in at number 10 is Erica versus Momma D. Where do I even start? You watch the show, you know what's up. Erica is the mother of Lil Scrappy's daughter. And at this point right here, you know, she was engaged to Lil Scrappy because on the reunion of the first season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, you know, it appeared that Lil Scrappy did choose Erica. He proposed to her and she accepted, but of course Momma D didn't approve of it. So in order to settle the differences of these two, as you've seen on the show, they tried to have, you know, a nice, you know, family dinner at Erica's house. And as you saw on there, you know, it turned into a Raw / SmackDown fight. OMG. It was horrible, people. A huge scene. People all over the place. I mean, after being called, after she felt like she was disrespected for the 100th upteenth time, Erica went crazy. She started going all over the place. I mean, it got to the point to where she even shoved, you know, Lil Scrappy. And that's right. And as you can see here, you know, Lil Scrappy was in the middle of it again, you know, when Erica had to go up against, you know, Momma D. Because Momma D is the mother of Lil Scrappy. And she doesn't approve of Erica being with Scrappy. Because Momma D, she wants Shay to be with Scrappy. But of course, as you all know, you know, Lil Scrappy did choose Erica. And he really wants this to work. But back to the fight, yeah. It wasn't just a fight, it was a smackdown, you know. There were people all over the place trying to break the fight up. Oh my God, it was just chaos, people. You know, Momma D did not approve of it. I mean, it was just heavy duty drama. Hot damn. Okay, well, you know, my take on it is this, you know. Right now, you know, after that, you know, Erica and Lil Scrappy are not together, okay? And if you saw the reunion show, you know, they're still not together. And I really don't know what's going to happen at this point. But I just feel like, you know, Lil Scrappy, he tried. And boy, did he try to make it work. But I just don't think that Erica is trying to hear it. because Erica and Mama D just cannot get along, and that is what's doing it. And there's also the fact that, Erica, she went into Lil Scrappy's cell phone and started reading all of his texts. Oh boy. Can you believe that? She read all of Lil Scrappy's texts. See, that's the thing I'm talking about here, Jaguars. You're going into another person's phone, invading that person's privacy, reading all the texts. Ah, jeez. What do you think is going to happen? Because we all know what the number one rule is, right? Don't read anyone else's texts. Because if you go into someone else's phone just to see the text, to see who they're texting and all that, trust me, it's going to lead to a fight. Okay? Okay. And because the way I see it, that Erica, just doesn't trust Lil Scrappy. Now they did try to make it work. Erica was there for Lil Scrappy. Helped him out with some stuff. Even when Scrappy was about to go to jail and be behind bars on that marijuana test charge. But then after that, Lil Scrappy went ahead and got into rehab. And then that's when Lil Scrappy started calling himself by his real name, which is Daryl. And Erica was there for him. And now let me say this: Lil Scrappy, he did try, and I mean the man did try. But I just don't think that Erica wants to hear it. And therefore, I just don't think it's going to work. Just like you saw in season 1, Shay and Scrappy are friends. Actually, they are friends with benefits. And you always know how that turns out. I mean, she's there for Scrappy. She was supposed to be there for Scrappy, being there for him emotionally. But apparently, these two went ahead and hooked up. And what Shay is saying that, after they, had hooked up, meaning they had sex, that is 6 days later, that is when, on the reunion show, that is when Lil Scrappy proposed to Erica. And that is what really pissed, Shay off. And that is why we have here, checking in at number 9, we got Shay versus Lil Scrappy. Basically because Shay does not like the way she was handled. Shay basically said to Lil Scrappy that, oh, you didn't have to handle me that way. Well, judging by, Shay's pictures, yeah, I'm kind of thinking of something dirty right now to say, but maybe I shouldn't do that. It's just too easy. But anyways, back to the story. Shay went off on Lil Scrappy, yelling at him, cussing him out, and kicking Scrappy, out of her house. Damn. Hell have no fury like a Shay scorned, huh? Well, as we saw in the reunion show, Shay does have somebody, and it's not Lil Scrappy. So we just wonder, how is Shay gonna get along without, little Scrappy? Oh yeah, as if we didn't see this one coming. Erica versus Shay. Because these two, at one point did fight over, little Scrappy. And that's what this battle right here is all about. And on the bottom there you see that, TRACI was caught in the middle of it. Because, Erica was saying that, Shay had her name in her mouth and all that. And this was practically building up for a long time. For the simple fact that, Scrappy was, seeing, both of these women. And of course, Erica is little Scrappy's baby mama. And Scrappy did hook up with Shay, and that's what this fight is all about, of course. You all know that. And in this store right here, TRACI, tried to get in the middle of it, and that's when, they really went at it. It was a real brutal shouting match. Security. No, wait, let me say this. Shay and Erica, they went off on each other, yelling at each other. Yeah, and that's when the security guys had to come in and break it up, trying to pull them off from each other. And when they got Shay outside, that's when Shay actually hit the window. That's right, she hit the window, and she was still yelling at Erica. And Erica actually took her jacket off, ready to, throw down with Shay. And I remember seeing Shay, on Charm School, and I will tell you, Shay will scrap. Okay, she can scrap with the best of them. No pun intended. Yeah, that was definitely a good fight right here. Thank God the security guys were there, because they would have really went at it. They would have really, tore the whole place down. Okay, this one right here is Mimi versus Joseline, coming in at number 7 on the top 13 fights of love and hip hop, Atlanta. Now this was near the beginning of, actually it's the very first episode. Mimi moved back into the house to try to work things out with Stevie J, and also to be closer to her daughter. Joseline was in the house, but then she moved out. And everybody here already knows this scene, okay? You watch the show, you know what happened in this fight right here. It started out with Mimi having a good conversation with Stevie J. Looks like they're working things out. Everything is cordial and nice and peaceful. But as soon as Joseline walks in the door, oh boy, that is when all the hell broke loose. I mean, Joseline walks in, looking real good in her outfit. Yeah, Joseline's looking real good in her outfit. But then she disrespected Mimi by calling her a maid. And then Mimi went off on Joseline, telling her to get the hell out. And Stevie J had to walk out too, and wow. After thinking about this scene some more, at first I was going to say that, this was a tie right here, Mimi versus Joseline. But then, the more I think about it, Mimi did have this under control, because she was the one saying, she was the one kicking people out of there, and that's when both Joseline and Stevie J, walked out. So I guess so it's pretty safe to say that, Mimi hands down, got this one. Not to take anything away from Joseline, of course. Oh, OMG. Joseline looking real good in her outfit. But Mimi's looking real good too. Damn. That's what I'm talking about, Jaguars. So yeah, Mimi did have this one. Now, because Stevie J didn't say anything when Joseline called Mimi a maid, that is what led to this fight right here, checking in at number 6, Mimi versus Stevie J. And oh boy, OMG, Mimi just went off on Stevie J, because Mimi didn't say anything. No, wait, let me correct that. Stevie J did not say anything when Joseline called Mimi a maid, and that is what pissed Mimi off. I mean, Mimi just went nuts. She went off on Stevie J. I mean, check it out. That's right. Mimi went off on Stevie J, got all up in the man's face, yelling at him, cussing the man out. Hot damn. And look at that. She even drew the drink. She threw water on Stevie J. Oh my God. Oh my God. Mimi just tore Stevie J a new ASS hole. God damn. So it was clearly who won this fight. And you can even see, way down there, there's Stevie J walking out with the towel. So it's pretty obvious who had that under control. This one goes out to Mimi. Alright, checking in at number 5 is we got Stevie J versus Benzino. Yeah, sorry for leaving the J out of Stevie J there. I don't want to put it out there and say that, Stevie J and Benzino are BFFs, but because I feel that BFF is being used too lightly. But that is the case here. Stevie J and Benzino are brothers. They're like brothers, best friends. But not right here in this situation. Because you see, right here, Stevie J's, current girlfriend, Joseline Hernandez, had been hanging out with Karlie Red, and Karlie Red told, Joseline that Benzino said that, he had hooked up with Joseline, and Karlie Red said that, Benzino's exact words were, "I hit that." Oh my God. So that's why we're all wondering here, did Zeno really smash the homie? And right here, and that's when Joseline told Stevie J about that situation. And now here they're in a parking lot right outside of Benzino's work. And I gotta tell you, I really like the way they're all dressed up here because, Stevie J and Joseline are confronting Benzino. Yeah, and like I said, I really like how they're all dressed up here, like gangsters, dressed all up in black and stuff. Wow, this is quite a scene right here. Stevie J is trying to check Benzino, and of course, Benzino, he didn't really want to entertain, this whole thing right here. But he did deny it, though. He said that he did not say that, he and Joseline got together. And there was also, and Karlie Red also made an accusation and said that he showed, Karlie a tape of Joseline. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Jaguars, but I gotta chuckle at this right here. Yeah, it does seem kind of ridiculous. Yeah, it does seem kind of ridiculous, And Benzino, let me tell you, at this point right here, Benzino was pissed off, man. I mean, you're pulling a man out of his work, out of his business. And, questioning him about stuff like this. Because Karlie said that Benzino and Joseline hooked up and had sex. But then Joseline said, no, that is not true because Joseline just said that, she needs a guy with a neck. And, well, Benzino does have a neck, we just can't see it, And Benzino did not want to entertain this, And at this point right here, Stevie J and Benzino, they got pissed off at each other. And that's when they decided, for a while, they're not brothers anymore. And, so Stevie J got in the car and drove off. And that's when Zeno had to say, goodbye to Joseline Hernandez. But then, later on, Stevie J did some more research and some more checking. And according to Stevie J, Karlie Red was lying about the whole thing. But this was, like 2 months later that they found out. And, so now it looks like Stevie J and Benzino are cool again. But I can't believe that, that they almost fell for this whole thing. Because, because this accusation on Benzino is coming from Karlie Red, someone that Benzino has beef with. Because in the very first season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, I remember Karlie Red saying F you to Benzino. So you got to use your minds on this one whenever somebody, makes a wild accusation like that. I mean, you want to check them on that? Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's the right thing to do, confront them and ask them, what's going on. Is it true? But just remember now at this time, Benzino and Karlie Redd, they're beefing with each other. Okay? So I guess we can call this, this fight right here a tie. Now, because of the number 5 fight, Stevie J versus Benzino, it led to this fight right here. Checking in at number 4, Joseline Hernandez versus Karlie Redd. The previous week, Karlie Redd and Joseline were hanging out together and talking, and then the next week, here they are, Joseline and Karlie Redd trying to take each other's heads off. Wow, this is really something. And right here, when Stevie J decided to confront Karlie Redd, Stevie J said that, this is the reason why Karlie Redd is zero in this industry right here. Because, Karlie Redd ruined the relationship between Stevie J and Mimi. And now she says some stuff about, the friendship of Stevie J and Benzino. And now here comes Joseline walking in, and she's yelling at Karlie Redd. Karlie Redd is yelling back, and security guys had to come in here and separate them. Yeah, Joseline went ahead and went off on Karlie. Yeah, so this was another, intense fight right here. But once again, thank God the security guys were there to break this up. Okay, now right here, checking in at number 3, we got Stevie J versus NIKKO. At this point right here, NIKKO is Mimi's new man, and they're at the video release party, for Johnny and NIKKO's, premiere of their video, NY to LA. And this was a very special night, just setting up the stage for Stevie J versus NIKKO, because the whole intention of Stevie J was to drive a wedge between Mimi and NIKKO, and it looks like it worked. Stevie J went ahead and bought Mimi that car, and Stevie J pointed out that the watch that NIKKO gave Mimi was a fake, going TikTok. Wow. And Mimi took the car, okay, and that really pissed off NIKKO. And you know what? That is a typical guy reaction. I mean, NIKKO being pissed off about Mimi taking a car of her baby daddy. Okay, I can't really knock NIKKO for that. But then NIKKO started saying some other, mean stuff to Mimi, which was not right at all. So this whole night just went, the whole night didn't go too well for NIKKO. So it looks like, hands down, Stevie J won this one. Now, after the show, stopped, after they stopped taping for the show, on YouTube, as you can see here, bottom left, NIKKO is making a whole bunch of videos, saying stuff about Stevie J, saying all kinds of stuff like, Stevie J was broke for a long time, and his basic words were, homie's not built like that. He doesn't have all that. And he also said that this car right here that you see here, Stevie J gave to Mimi the car as a rental. If all this is true, then I'm going to need some actual facts. I mean, anybody can make a video and say a whole bunch of stuff. But that doesn't mean that, there's going to be weight on it. NIKKO, I'm pretty sure he's a good guy. Actually, NIKKO is an artist, of the hip-hop industry. He's got his video out, NIKKO and Johnny, NY to LA. And that video right there, I have seen it, okay? And I'll have to say, that video is pretty interesting. It's getting a lot of views on YouTube. Very nice. But the videos that he's making, saying all this stuff about Stevie J, you gotta bring some facts with it, homie. I mean, just because you make a video and say stuff, that doesn't mean that, people are going to, believe it. I mean, because anybody can do that. Because of course, you see me, I do that all the time. I jump in front of a camera and say stuff. Because I can also, here's an example, that would be like me saying, okay, there are vampires on the moon. Well, first of all, there's no, that statement right there is not going to carry any weight, okay? Because first of all, I can tell you, I have never been on the moon, or at least not yet. So I don't know if there are vampires on the moon. And that statement right there just doesn't make sense, because vampires cannot take sunlight, and the moon is very close to the sun. So if there are vampires on the moon, they're obviously not there anymore, because vampires cannot take sunlight. They can walk around during the day, but they have to avoid sunlight. And if they're on the moon, then they're gonna have a pretty hard heck of a time trying to avoid that sunlight, being on the moon. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, maybe that's not such a good example, but back to this right here, NIKKO, I have to say, all his videos are interesting and entertaining to me. But we're gonna need some facts. I mean, if he's really trying to say that Stevie J is really fugazi, then homie, you gotta bring some proof and let me know what's going on. Yeah, we need some facts. But as far as this, this little thing right here, this battle, Stevie J versus NIKKO, checked in at number 3. It looks like Stevie J, had this one. And because of what happened with the number 3 fight. This fight right here checks into number 2, Mimi versus NIKKO. And this one was a doozy, Jaguars. Oh yeah. Because NIKKO was supposed to be, Mimi's new man, but at the video release party, NIKKO reacted very harshly towards Mimi because she accepted the gift from Stevie J, the car, and NIKKO had said that Mimi was a bitch, and that she was damaged goods and some other bad stuff. And even in his YouTube videos, NIKKO admitted that he had said other stuff about Mimi at that time. And the very next day, Karlie Red once again hits up Mimi, and she shows Mimi the proof that NIKKO was trying to holla at Karlie Red. And that's when Mimi decided to confront NIKKO in his apartment, or his loft, and as you can see here, and it turned into a real heated argument. And that's when NIKKO said, and that's when NIKKO said to Mimi, his exact words were, "Did you want to have a threesome with, me and Karlie Red?" Hot damn. Because when Mimi was confronting NIKKO about the whole thing, and telling NIKKO about what happened, because it seemed like all of a sudden, NIKKO his memory was a blur with the whole situation of what happened that previous night. Because NIKKO said that, like I said, he said a whole bunch of bad words and to her, that she was damaged goods. Also called her a bitch, and then NIKKO had to say, what else? What else? I think that's enough, don't you think? When NIKKO first came on the scene, and started dating, Mimi, I didn't really know what to think about him. And I was not about to sit here and just jump to conclusions. I mean, because I like to just let, the truth unveil itself and let people show their own colors. And that is what NIKKO did. He showed his true colors, showed what he was all about. And that is why Mimi went off on NIKKO, as you can see here. And typical trademark Mimi, she got all up in NIKKO's face, and just cussed him out. That's right, Mimi went off. I mean, she really went off on NIKKO. Called him a clown and everything. So it's clear that, Mimi won this one. Let it be known, Jaguars, do not mess around or even F around with Mimi, because she will go off on you, and she will go off on you hardcore. Oh yeah, and here it is, the number 1 fight. Okay, I picked this one as the number 1 fight of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for the 2nd season. Stevie J versus Joseline. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? You watch the show, you know what this is all about. you know, in the second season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, you know, Stevie J and Joseline, they butted heads, you know, a few times in this season. And they also hooked up in this season. And they got together in this season. And this is the confrontation slash drama slash fight that took place on the very last on the season finale, rather, on the season finale of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Because it was Joseline, you know, demanded from Stevie that she gets a commitment from him, okay? But of course, you know that Stevie J was very hesitant because he not only still has feelings for Mimi, but you know, Stevie J still, you know, wants Mimi. Oh yeah, Joseline pushed for it. She pushed and pushed for that commitment. You know, and we saw how Stevie J arranged, you know, everything for her, you know, signing a deal with that label and making that video. I mean, it was a whole lot of stuff. But when Joseline, you know, proposed to Stevie J, that really did freak Stevie J out. And of course it did, because it would freak, you know, any guy out, you know. Commitment. It's really hard, Jaguars. And so yeah, let's go ahead and speed things up here. As you can see right here, you know, Stevie J planned, you know, something to make this lifetime partnership thing, you know, with him and Joseline. He wanted to make it official. That's what he said. So he put this thing together. And then he also invited Mimi here. Why would he invite Mimi here? I don't know. Maybe, now, I thought it was at first to be a witness, you know, for all of this. And as you can see in the pic right here, you know, Joseline is a little uncomfortable with, you know, Mimi being there. And if you watch the show, you know, you're a fan of this show, you know that this is the infamous, you know, love triangle here, you know, Stevie J, Joseline, and Mimi. And okay, yeah, so I thought that, you know, Mimi was just gonna be a witness here, but to my surprise, oh boy, Stevie J is right there with all those flowers on the floor, you know, playing on a piano for Joseline, and he puts the ring on Joseline's finger, and he said that, would you like to be lifetime partners? And Joseline said yeah. She was happy about that. But then that's when Stevie J, you know, did the shocker. He did the one thing that would be heard around the world. As you can see right there on Mimi's finger, Stevie J also put an engagement ring on Mimi's finger. OMG. Damn. And when Stevie J did that, that is when all hell started to break loose. Joseline, she freaked out. She went wild. And I do mean WILD. I mean, the girl went off. She walked out of the room pissed off. You know, she started going crazy, screaming and yelling at Stevie J. OMG Jaguars. This was really something. You know, the security guys had to rush in. and try to break them up and hold Joseline back. And and Mimi, she enjoyed the whole thing. I mean, she just yeah, she got a real good laugh out of all of this. She just said that, Joseline wanted Stevie J and she got him. Wow. And this right here was on headlines all over the internet. This whole thing. And they're even calling, Stevie J, the Lord of the Rings. Say what? Lord of the Rings? Hot damn. He gave 2 rings to 2 women. Not just any 2 women, but 2 women who obviously have beef with each other. And that's why I picked this one as the #1 fight of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for the 2nd season. Because this right here really topped them off. I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, it had been a whole wild and crazy season, but this fight right here really topped them off. And once again, Stevie's pulling off another one of his shenanigans and doing stuff, trying to avoid, and running from, tough situations whenever being confronted with something. And Joseline specifically said that, she was sick and tired of, Stevie J's shenanigans. And this is what Joseline was talking about right here. Yeah, what a way to end the season, huh? Well, my take on it is this, Joseline did, hit Stevie J with the question, does he want to marry Joseline? And if Stevie J did not want to be engaged to Joseline, if Stevie didn't want that commitment, he could have just said that he didn't want to be engaged to her, or he didn't want a commitment. Why pull this crap right here? That's what I'm wondering. He should have just came right out and said, Joseline, I'm not ready for a commitment. But I guess it would take balls to do something like that, right? Oh, wait a minute. Let me take that back. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say that about Stevie. Because, I don't think Stevie is a bad guy. In fact, I think Stevie J is a good guy, But sometimes, he just be creating these situations. Yeah, Stevie J, he creates these situations. These situations that always turn into drama. And so that's where we had to leave it. Now, Stevie J, yeah, on the reunion show of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for the 2nd season, it's obvious that, Stevie J and Joseline are dating. But in my personal opinion, after watching this show and watching this whole circus from hip hop, Love in Atlanta's, the infamous love trio that we're seeing right here, that's what everyone's calling it. I'm looking at all this and I think that, I still think that Stevie J, he wants to have both Joseline and Mimi. He wants both of them. And I can tell you right now, I know damn well that Mimi is just not trying to hear it. Because yeah, Mimi might have feelings for Stevie J, but Stevie J messed it up. I mean, Stevie J does want to be with Mimi, but Mimi is not trying to hear it. And Stevie J does not want to accept that. he wants to have the both of them. He wants Joseline and he wants, you know, Mimi. But that's just not going to happen. Because as you can see right now, you know, Mimi is dating, you know, other people. In fact, as I understand, you know, right now, you know, now that the show has ended and so has the reunion, yeah, Mimi might be dating NIKKO right now still. You know, after the taping of the show and the reunion, you know, they got back together, I think, you know, trying to work it out. But if it doesn't work out between Mimi and NIKKO, then, you know, it's going to be I really feel like it's going to be another guy that, you know, that's going to be dating, you know, Mimi. And that's where we stand right now, you know. Because Stevie J dropped the ball, now he has to watch Mimi date other guys. And he brought it on himself because, you know, because he messed up. You know, he dropped the ball. Because I'll tell you right now, I really feel like this is, you know, Stevie J's bus, as he puts it. I mean, he says this is his bus. Okay, yeah, it's his bus, but you know, there's only going to be one girl riding on him with that bus. I don't think it's going to be, you know, two of them. Because, you know, Joseline, okay, in her past, yeah, she used to be, you know, a freak, you know, doing all kinds of, you know, sexual stuff with Stevie J. But we all know that Mimi is not like that, you know. She's a very classy woman. She's not into that kind of stuff. So, and unfortunately, I just don't think that, you know, Stevie J is just not trying to hear it, you know. He wants to continue the hip-hop, you know, love triangle, you know, Stevie J, Mimi, and Joseline. And there's also another rumor that's going around on YouTube and the rest of the internet. And I think this rumor started with Media Takeout. That's the website that Mimi hates with a passion. You know, Media Takeout reported that there was a threesome that included Stevie J, Joseline, and Mimi. And I will tell you, you know, Mimi is denying that whole thing. And let me tell you, I seriously doubt that threesome happened, okay? I seriously doubt that happened. I don't believe it for a second. Because, like I said, Mimi is just not like that. She does not do stuff like that. And that is why Mimi went off on, you know, NIKKO for even suggesting a thing, you know, when NIKKO said to Mimi, you know, do you want to have a threesome with me and Karlie Red? Oh my God, where did that come from? You know, NIKKO might as well have just said, you know, whoop my ass. I mean, you know, Mimi's not going to do that. And now, Media Takeout, you know, they're saying that thing, you know, that there was a threesome between Mimi, Joseline, and Stevie J. I seriously doubt that. I don't believe it for a second. So that's why, you know, this whole thing is crazy. And I also feel that, you know, always somehow, some way, you know, shape or form, you know, Stevie J, he just likes to try to steal the show. You know, as you saw in the reunion show of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. You know, just like he did at the video release party for NIKKO and Johnny, and also in the reunion show, he always pulls some stuff off or some stunt to try to steal the show. And it's and you know, I sit there, I watch the show just like everyone else, and you know, most of the show seems to be about Stevie J and this love triangle here that includes, you know, Stevie, Joseline, and Mimi. So I have no idea what's going to happen in the future for these three. So there you have it, Jaguars. I did it the best way that I could do it, and I presented it to you the best way that I could present it to you. The top 13 fights of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And trust me, Jaguars, there were a lot more. I mean, almost every single episode of this show, there was a fight scene, a confrontation, an argument. It was just crazy. Wild and crazy at the same time. But I rather enjoyed it, you know. I mean, it kind of made the hip-hop community, you know, look bad, but hey, it was great entertainment. And it also made for great TV. And as I mentioned before, you know, K.Michelle, she is leaving the ATL and she is joining the cast of Love and Hip Hop New York. And I believe that is the original Love and Hip Hop, you know, show of VH1. I think she'll fit in, you know, real perfectly there. And I'm really hoping that there will be at least one more season of Love and Hip Hop in the ATL. And I have no, and I do mean I have no idea what's going to happen in that third season.
Peace out. Till the next episode. Oh!